very old soul for sure. You've traveled a lot. Oh my goodness. I'm not seeing higher galactic angelic with you. When I checked in with your aura, you don't have an angelic connection. I just see a soul that's been incarnating in multiple different systems, okay? So I think that's why and I almost see kind of a little bit of a parallel soul with you, and I'm going to check to see what kind of contract you hooked into to do the parallel soul thing, but I see that you've incarnated in many different systems. So that's probably why when you've been checking all these different star traits, star race traits, it's like, oh yeah, I can kind of relate to the Pleiades, or oh yeah, I can kind of relate to Sirius, or I can relate to Arcturus, or you've incarnated. I'm just seeing like your aura, I mean, it looks like a rainbow almost. It's like it has different colors and, different types of, a different spectrum of different colors, so, which is actually, I think, really cool. I mean, what it tells me is that you're an extremely experienced soul doing a variety of different work. And I think you're one of those explorer souls that, and I do see that you're a Sagittarius, so that fits, okay? You're an explorer soul that is just out there to have as many experiences as you can. But we're going to get more specific here. I want to check to see what your origination point is and see why you decided to take this crazy journey in this galaxy. You've been on a crazy journey. I'm going to check in. Okay, I'm seeing you're kind of a representative from a group consciousness that I think came from, you're connected with Orion Nebula. But Orion Nebula is not the same as Orion, the constellation. Orion constellation had a bunch of reptilians there. I don't see a connection with reptilians with you, okay? I'm seeing Orion Nebula, which is actually, they think Orion Nebula is the home of God, okay? It's the home of Source. So you are part of a group consciousness that, I want to call them the Watchers or the Overseers. They traverse multiple lives in multiple star systems, but kind of keep an eye on how things are going. And I'm seeing that you're reporting back to some sort of a council. It's an Orion Light Council. So you actually have kind of an Orion-esque quality to your soul signature, but it wasn't that you came from Orion constellation. So it was more that you came from the Light Council. So these are the higher dimensional beings. So I would say Orion Nebula is probably your origination point, but it wasn't like the only place where you had.
I heard something about Polaris. Somebody told me something about originating in Polaris.
I think you had incarnations in Polaris, but I don't think you originated from there.
So older than that.
Older than that, yeah. Polaris is fairly, I think, young. Polaris wasn't even made the North Star until around the time of Christ. Okay, so it's in the grand.
The first root race. The first root race of Earth was Polaris.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you do have a connection with Polaris, but I'm seeing Orion Nebula I'm just going way back. Okay, I'm just going like beyond this galaxy. So your origination point was Orion Nebula, okay? It tells me a little bit about your soul signature, that you're on this higher mission, but you're mainly an observer. You're kind of like somebody that kind of just observes what's kind of going on out there and then reports back to a higher council. And I think you do this a lot. I mean, you do it in your sleep a lot, okay? But there is a significance with Polaris, and I'm going to check in on that. So I think after Lyra Vega got attacked, okay, and you probably know that story already, I think there was a group of High Council members that decided that they needed to keep kind of a watchful eye on things that were going on, because they didn't want another Lyra Vega attack to happen again. So they had to try to kind of keep balance throughout, so you're actually a very ancient soul. I mean, your soul's really ancient. But you have an interesting path. I'm not seeing that you follow the traditional path that most of us did, that, we had some incarnation in Lyra, and then And then we ended up incarnating in some other system, and then we incarnated in another system. You're more of an expansive soul than that. Okay, so your soul, you have almost the elements of a higher galactic, but it's it's not, but you're not like reporting to Galactic Center. Okay, so it's you're in a council that's even beyond Galactic Center. Okay, that's what where you're coming from. And I think this was, I think, one of the councils that was closest to source. Okay, so I don't see an angelic quality with you, though. I see more of kind of an observer or a referee, if you want to call it that. So
A peacekeeper.
a peacekeeper, yeah.
Maintain the balance. Peacekeeper.
Yeah, peacekeeper. Yeah, that's. I think it's interesting that you chose to be born as a Sagittarius, because that's what Sagittarius is, such an expansive sign. They're.
I actually fall into the Ophiuchus too.
Yeah, you
So
do.
duality. I get two.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you fall into this really expansive astrological sign, and you're kind of an explorer. Okay, so you're actually a soul shard from this the you that I'm talking to right now. You're a soul shard of this expansive soul that decided to have these multiple experiences throughout multiple different star systems. Okay. I think one of your starting off points was Vega. Because I see more of a Vega energy with you than Lyra. So I think your energy tends to lean more towards Mother Goddess consciousness and not Father God consciousness. But I think in reality you have what I would call an androgynous soul. I think you can go either way, and a lot of us, I'm an androgynous soul too. I think I tend to exhibit more masculine qualities. My husband tends to be more feminine. I don't know. It just works for us. But you, I think you've had incarnations as male, as female, as male, as female, as male, as female. Throughout multiple lifetimes. Can I ask why you decided to go more female in this life? I mean, was it because you just didn't feel comfortable?
I think because ever since I was young, I didn't feel like I was male.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to pretend because that's the way my body formed.
Yeah.
The birth control pills my mom was on caused it to misread, so my body thought it had testosterone, so I had to be an outie. But I had a feminine spirit, and I still do. But after, now that transgenderism, I guess they call it, they started accepting people being able to change their gender identification, whether they do it physically or not. So this was a lifetime where I could do that. So maybe that's the experience I needed to see both sides of the coin, in a sense. And
Right.
I chose to do that.
Right. Okay.
But
no, I admire.
So after finishing.
I admire you for doing that, because I wouldn't want anybody to be in a body they don't feel comfortable in. You know what I'm saying? Because and this is going to sound kind of odd, but I don't feel comfortable being in a human body. Okay, but I'm human in this lifetime, so I'm just accepting it. It's not like I can shift into something else, but at least you have the opportunity to shift into a different gender. One that you resonate more with.
Yeah, I had to stay male because to stay in the military, give my daughter her medical care for her life because
Yeah.
she was handicapped. So I stuck it out, and I had to keep it hidden for 22 years.
Okay.
But I did, for 22 years plus when I was a kid. So
Right.
Once that was done, I could step out. I finally did it, and the world was open to it now.
Right.
It made it a lot easier. I don't have to have the surgery. It's just, I didn't feel male. I finally got to express who I really am, and it fit better.
Right. Because, when I check in on your energy, you do have more of a feminized energy. I mean, and I think it's because you were representing more Mother Goddess consciousness. You've always been more of a representative Mother Goddess consciousness. And I think that's why you were attracted to Vega initially, because that was at least in this galaxy, the representation of Mother Goddess consciousness. That was where it all began, or at least where it kind of manifested as in a physical sense, But when I check in on your energy field, you see you have a very like feminine energy about you, which is actually, I think, fits you better. I mean, I don't know how to say that, but I don't know if I'm coming across weird or not, but
not weird at all. I'm understanding completely what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I just, to me, I feel more comfortable with you being a female than I do with you being a male. Okay, so I feel like you're being more authentic, and so I can connect with you. So that's.
So I'm wearing silk, not cotton.
What's that?
So I'm wearing silk instead of cotton.
Yeah. So I think it's I admire you for taking that stand and being authentic to who you are. But anyway, I do see that you did have incarnations as both. I think you've throughout your multiple lifetimes. Now Polaris was interesting. Okay, I'm going to tell you your connection with Polaris and why that came up maybe in your last reading. Polaris was, I think, for a long time, and you probably already know this, but for a long time, at least with planet Earth, Thuban was the North Star. Okay, Thuban. Where's Thuban? Is in Draco. Okay, so it was during the time of the dinosaurs. It was during the time of the early civilizations where it was mostly under reptilian rule. Okay. I think you chose to go to Polaris because you're a very big galactic soul, okay? So your job on Polaris was to help to shift the energies away from Draco towards, I think, a new phase in Earth's history, okay? Because around the time of Christ, at least I think it was around the time of Christ, that was when the Earth axis shifted, and now our North Star is Polaris, okay? Because we had to break away from that reptilian, overrule on Earth, okay? There's still quite a bit of elements of there's still reptilian overrule on Earth, but I'm seeing that was your mission. And in that incarnation, you were actually like maybe a 10th or 11th dimensional being. So you weren't even really you were in a light body, but you were utilizing your energy along with, I think, several other souls of your caliber. Okay. So it wasn't just you doing this. It was, like a group consciousness that was doing this, was shifting the Earth axis. And this is my first time seeing this in the record. So I always kind of wondered why Earth decided, to shift from Thuban to Polaris. Now I know it's because it had to, because we had to get Earth, because eventually the North Pole is going to shift again, and it's going to shift to Vega. Oh, so that's why you went to Vega. Okay. So you had something to do with the shifting of Earth's destiny, okay? I think you incarnated as Vega or as Vegan initially because that is one of the original templates for humanity, okay? That and Lyra, So you had to have an understanding of Vega, okay? But then, after that, you had an incarnation in Polaris in order to help shift, Earth's axis away from Thuban towards Polaris. But what I'm seeing is likely going to happen with you in the future is you're probably going to incarnate on Vega and shift the Earth axis from Polaris to Vega. Because that's where Earth, the North Pole, the North Star is eventually going to become Vega. Okay. So, because what's happening with Earth is that Earth is underneath Orion, still underneath kind of like Orion-esque template, and I'm talking Orion as far as reptilians. We're trying to shift Earth back to the original Earth blueprint, which was supposed to be Lyra Vega. Okay. So you're here.
Explains the cats.
The cats. Oh, why do you have cats?
Yes, my cats. Two cats and a human, partly normal massage. Two cats. They run with me everywhere. They adopted me, and we go everywhere.
Yeah, they probably recognize you. Cats are attracted to me too, and a lot of people think I'm Lyran, and I'm not. I'm actually Arcturian, but I don't. I think because of the time I spent on Lyra, I have cats that are attracted to me, so I have a cat. But I think your role actually is you're a template builder and a template facilitator. So you're here to kind of help Earth, kind of help it kind of go along. It's just a soul shard of this higher dimensional soul that's having these incarnations in different systems and having these different experiences, but I'm I'm a big soul myself, so I'm more connected with galactic centers. So I've had parallel lives as well. So that's why I understand parallel souls, because I'm one myself. But for right now, I don't think I'm doing the multi-dimensional thing like I was in the past. But because I have to focus on this, because Earth is a tough project. But
See, I think I do. I think I am jumping back and forth a lot.
I think you are too. I think I think during dream time you're astral traveling to your other selves all the time. And I think maybe like once or twice a month you're probably even traveling back to your original light council and reporting to them. There's an article that I think I might send you. It was written, or actually, it was part of a excerpt from a book. It was written by Solaris, and she talks about the role of the Orion Nebula. I think I might send you that link because I think it might help you understand kind of your part and all. It's the L on Ra. So there's an element called the L on Ra, and I think you have a connection to that. So I'm going to send you some information on that, so you have an idea of the expansiveness of the role that you're playing. But yeah, you're probably one. I do occasionally I do readings for people that are really big souls, and you're one of those really big souls. You're just. And it's interesting that usually they tend to be Sagittarius. It's interesting. I see that almost every single time. It's just like, wow. And I think it's just because, Sagittarius represents, expansiveness. It represents, I think higher level travel or higher level learning. And
it's the ninth sign of the zodiac.
And 9 sizes. No, yeah, 9 is a master number. You're right. Yeah. So there's all kinds of, I think, varying levels of symbolism with that particular. Plus, it kind of is like got split into this. What was the name of that other astrological sign?
Ophiuchus.
Ophiuchus. Yeah, Ophiuchus. Yeah. So now there's this added level to Sagittarius, where and isn't Ophiuchus like the great healer or
yes.
Yeah.
It's the great healer, the caduceus, the serpent bearer.
Yeah. So that
it's
takes
one that fought off the serpents.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you're the serpent bearer, because you shifted Earth axis from the serpent to Polaris, okay? So and then you're going to be doing it again for Vega. You're going to be I think, when the time is right, which I'm not sure exactly when that's supposed to occur. I think they say it's going to happen in 300,000 years from now. I mean, it's still a ways away, but eventually Earth's axis is going to shift to Vega, so it's. And that has been proven by science, so it's not just metaphysical things. So that's what you came here to do, is to help Earth's evolution, because here's what's going on with Earth and with the rest of this galaxy. Okay, so, and I think you've done this before in other galaxies. So you've probably done this kind of work in Andromeda Galaxy. You've probably done it in other galaxies. That's why I say you're a very ancient soul. And so you came here because kind of like the evolution of this galaxy is being slowed down because Earth has been kind of, I think, behind its schedule as far as shifting from third dimension to
She's been
fifth.
stubborn.
What's
She's been
that?
stubborn. She's been stubborn.
Yeah, yeah.
She refuses to go unless she can take all the souls with her.
Yeah, but we can't take all souls with us. That's the problem.
They said all the pure souls get to go.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the artificial souls that don't get to, but that's the consciousness issue. But the real souls get to leave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or they at least get to travel with her to, because what I see is that third dimension on Earth is eventually going to phase off. So all these souls that you call artificial souls, or I call unevolved souls, they're going to eventually be attritioned out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to either get with the program, or they're going to be attritioned out and be incarnating in another third dimensional reality someplace else. So because Earth has to go to fifth dimension. It's I mean, because right now it's slowing down the evolution of the rest of the galaxy, and I think that's why there's so many of us here right now on Earth trying to push Earth along, the ascension process. But I'm working with, I do it my way by working with, the people that are here to do the ascension work. You're here to help with the higher level energies, so all of us have our role. We all volunteered to be here. I mean, we all did, but you've had incarnations, quite a few in the Pleiades. You've had incarnations in Sirius. So I see this kind of, I would say the majority of your incarnations, I see a very Syrian quality to your soul. So I think maybe you relate to Sirius. I don't know, but because
the first star, the dog star.
The dog star, yeah, yeah. So, but I'm seeing you had incarnations in Aldebaran, you had incarnations in Altair, you had incarnations in Capella, you had incarnations in Cassiopeia. I mean, almost everywhere. I mean, it's like I can't even really pinpoint like one particular place. I mean, you probably even had incarnations in Arcturus, and Andromeda. Okay, so I'm just seeing that.
They claim I do. Yeah, they claim I do.
So you have like, that's why I see this multicolor aura with you. It's not the brightness of the Pleiadian aura. It's more like different colors here. It's just like there's different aspects of you. Just there's a little bit of Procyon here. There's a little bit of Alpha Centauri. There's a little bit of Sirius. There's a little bit of Pleiades. That's how. So I would say your origination point, Orion Nebula, parallel soul. Okay, that's who you are. Okay, but you're a parallel soul with a big mission. Okay. So I would say mostly observational, mostly peacekeeping, but mostly here to help shift Earth to its higher level destiny. Okay. And I think you're also here to be a way shower. Okay, because you do kind of fall into that. You're kind of tail end of first wave, but you're kind of here to rep. What's that?
I'm always usually one of the last ones to do the tail end thing.
Yeah, yeah, you're kind of like, oh, I better rush up. Oh, I'm gonna get in. So you're a way shower, okay? I see you being more of a way shower than an indigo, okay? But
Blu-ray.
what's that? Yeah, you're more of a Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, you're more of a Blu-ray for sure. Yeah. Um, so you're here, I think, kind of to be a representative of the new fifth dimensional human being, okay? And I think the new fifth dimensional human being is going to be someone that can exhibit both masculine and feminine qualities, to be more of a balanced, well integrated.
To be able to walk in duality and
yeah.
Polarity. And you have to do same time. Okay, that makes sense. Then I got that message a little bit ago too. That I'm supposed to show duality.
Yeah, but you're supposed to show it integrated. You're showing it integrated. Okay,
Right.
so because you're right now in your current form, you were born male, but you're shifting into female, and I think you're always going to have elements of both, but you're here to, I think, represent the new humanity. What human beings are being. The Pleiadians and I think even the Native Americans believed that we had more than just two genders. Okay.
Yeah, two-spirit is what the natives call me.
Yeah, two-spirit. Yeah, and I think we're going to be moving to that where it's no longer going to just be male female. It's going to be maybe a combination of both, or maybe none, or I don't know. It could be whatever. It could be anything. And it's okay. It's okay to represent that. It's I think somehow here on Earth, and maybe this was part of this reptilian rule that you're only supposed to have two genders, and that's all you're supposed to have, and because then we can force females to be in their subservient role, and we can elevate men. So or I don't know, it was part of this whole big control matrix that they had built up. Um, so they didn't want people to have homosexual experiences, or to represent themselves as transgender or anything else, because that was part of the church rule, especially the Catholic Church. But now we're moving into fifth dimensional reality where, I think, the rules are changing, so people can be both. They can be neither. They can be one or the other, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. When I look at souls in the records, most of the time I see souls that have elements of both. Honestly, I would say the vast majority of my clients have had incarnations as both male and female. So they're already exhibiting, both qualities within their soul. So I rarely ever run across a soul where they're just predominantly male. Okay, sometimes I do, not very often, or predominantly female. Okay, so I think that's just part of the new reality we're creating. That it's okay to be whatever, and you're just a soul. You're not. There is no more categorization. Okay, so maybe that's what I'm trying to get at. But I'm trying to see if there's any particular lives that stand out. The Polaris one does, because that was a big job you did. I'm seeing a Cassiopeia connection with you too. Okay, and I don't know if this was brought up before or not, but I think during the time when there was the mass exodus from Lyra Vega, there was a sanctuary space that was set up in Cassiopeia. Okay, and I'm seeing that I think after Vega and before you went to Polaris, you had an incarnation in Cassiopeia as kind of like higher level feline being. Okay, and most of the Cassiopeian beings have like a feline element to them, but they were higher dimensional beings, and they were mainly there to be like triage workers. So when these souls were looking for refuge, they would assist them, in having a place to hide out, and get regroup, and then move on to the next, their next destination. So I'm seeing that you are one of the feline-esque beings that was, and I'm seeing you had a very feminine kind of, orientation to your physicality, but but even then it was kind of androgynous. It's kind of hard to tell, but because you were this higher dimensional being, I think most of the incarnations you had was beyond fifth dimension. It was not even that fifth dimension. It was like, maybe sixth density and beyond, so in that lifetime, you were assisting these Lyra Vega groups that were trying to, I think, eventually head towards Andromeda, okay? So then I'm seeing Polaris, and then I'm seeing you've had incarnations in Andromeda too. You're a very versatile soul. I think you've done you've done the technology thing, then you've done the deep feminine mystery thing. You've had incarnations on Earth in Atlantis. You had incarnations on Earth with Lemuria. You had incarnations in Egypt. I mean, you've done almost all of it. I mean, it's you must feel very tired. No, maybe not, but
I don't know. Sometimes I'm not, but when I go out and I do like massages or I'm healing people, I'm actually doing the real healing, not just the standard massage I was taught in school.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing my element, it's like I have so much energy. I can't get tired.
Oh, good.
It totally re-energizes me completely. I can go like 3-4 days, and I didn't even realize it because it's just I get that involved with it because that's where my energy is going. But it's like I have a excess supply.
Oh, interesting. And you did do healing work before. I think, Cassiopeia, I think, was your first, I think, healing.
It explains the two cats and a human idea when I got down here.
What's that?
It explains my two cats and a human business coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the two cats and a human. Yeah. You've always had kind of this, I think, attraction to feline energy, or maybe the feline energy is attracted to you, but and I'm kind of the same way. I seem to, I mean, I think I attract animals in general, whether they're squirrels or I don't know, whatever, birds,
animals, insects, anybody.
Anything. Yeah, it's just like they know I'm a higher dimensional being, so they just like, oh, I'm safe with that person, So
even humans come up to me a lot. So it's like,
yeah, no, I see that. I think you're the kind of person you would like if you're like catching a flight on an airport.
mm-hmm.
People are always talking to you. I mean, they're just like
everybody needs love. It doesn't matter. You can't deny love.
Yeah.
You can't take it away.
And being from Orion Nebula, you're like the embodiment of love, okay? You came from a place that was closest to source, okay? And I'm going to send you a picture of Orion Nebula because you're going to see how beautiful it is. This is absolutely, and that's what now that I'm thinking about the picture of Orion Nebula, your aura looks like that. It's all these different colors and it's just like really pretty. And I just see this massive soul, that's just here to bring the love frequency, so that's, I think, a big part of what you're doing is you're just bringing this love frequency and just total acceptance for anybody or any being, just like, boom, you're just sending out this love bomb, to all these different, everybody, so I think that's why people are attracted to you and animals and insects and, so yeah, you're a very big parallel soul. Okay. So with your parallel quality, okay, it's real easy for parallel souls to get really, I think, fragmented, okay? But for some reason, I don't see that fragmentation in you at all. Even though
I can't remember much because
maybe that's why you don't remember things because
it's too much.
it's too much, yeah. For your
it's too much
for your third dimensional mind, it's too much, okay? So so you might want to maybe ask your guides to assist you in maybe remembering just one or two, travels that you have. Just I mean, but I see you like doing every night you're visiting another soul shard of yourself. So I don't know if I have these dreams sometimes, but I don't know if you have the dreams sometimes where you're you, but you're in a different body and you're in a different timeline and you're in this different reality where you know everybody and everybody knows you, but you don't recognize it from this lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So
I get that when I wake up in the morning. I come back to a different timeline sometimes. It
yeah,
seems that way.
yeah. I mean, or you come back and you're just like, what timeline am I? Okay, I'm in this one. Okay, okay. So that happens to me sometimes where I'm just like, whoa, I was really traveling a lot, and I was in the future, or I was in the past, or and sometimes it might not even be in this particular time, so it's like a different dimension and a different timeline kind of thing, but uh, or it's on on a different planet or a different reality, or so I think you do the same thing where you're just like you're traveling a lot, and I think you do it
I
so
go an instant.
yeah, you do it in an instant. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you go out there. You're just like, boom, I'm in that different reality. So I think
It's
that's
all
why you're
instinctive for me.
yeah, it's very seamless for you. You do it like
I don't think about it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't plan it.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I'm just saying I'm agreeing with you because that's exactly how it is. It's just like it's very seamless. You don't even really think about it. You're just there, and but I think that's why maybe you're struggling with the remembering because it's just too much information. We're talking about maybe multiple dimensional levels, so it's
And when more people wake up, those
yeah.
timelines are open, and I have to go back on those timelines. And
Yeah, so you have a big job. It's but I'm glad to hear that you're maintaining your energy and you're not feeling like some of my parallel souls feel really tired and they're just like done and want to go home kind of thing.
I kind of get like that, but
Yeah.
there's always something that motivates me again.
Yeah, I think that's because you're very similar to another client of mine. He gets energized. It's like the more work he does, the more energized he gets. The more that he's serving others and being, in service to others, the more energized he gets and I think he's
Exactly.
another one that's from Orion Nebula. So it's because when you're giving out love, you get back love. It's just like
Exactly. I'm not abundantly wealthy as far as the standards that people follow in this world,
right.
but I've got more than enough, and my needs are always met.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where
So,
I can meet everybody else's needs, and healing's always there.
no, I admire you as a soul because you're this great expansive soul and you're just here to do, just give people what they need and I mean whether it be on an expansive, galactic level or if it's on a one-on-one level, that's what you came here to do. You're just here. But I do see this kind of observer quality with you where I don't think you're somebody that sets roots in one place. You're kind of like wherever you're needed, you'll go to. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's I don't think you make you don't make attachments. You're just kind of like, I'll go where I'm needed. I'll go wherever I need to go. So it's not like you want to set roots in a particular place because that's not your soul's too big for that. Okay, it's not like you don't want to. It's just that your soul's too big for it. You're being called to go to different places. So have you been in Seattle most of your life or just
Yeah, when I was 10 years old, when I had to become Richard completely,
yeah.
we moved to the Seattle area, and I graduated high school here, and then so 8 years here, and then I joined the military. My parents stayed here, so it's my home.
Yeah,
But
gotcha.
like I said, 8 years of my life was all I had here, and
Okay.
then I was gone for 22.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, and 22 plus, but yeah. Um, so we claim this as home, but it's really only where I graduated from, and it's kind of more of a sanctuary than it is a home.
Yeah. Well, I was just
That's
in
why they're
your
on vacation spot.
yeah, it is. I was just in your area earlier this month. It was like the first week of July because I was there visiting a friend and never been to Washington State before. And I was just amazed at how beautiful it is there. I mean, it's just like the trees. You guys have massive trees. I'm just like,
Oh, I know.
I'm in awe of your trees, you know what I'm saying? And then there's these lakes and these, waterways and I mean all the stuff that I don't have here in Colorado, you guys have there,
See,
so
I thought I could have actually retired and lived in Colorado and been happy. I like it
oh,
out there.
oh really? That's cool. It, but no, I was just there and I was just and my friend was going through a hard time. And I was thinking, well, how can you be sad? I said, look at this place. This is like paradise. I mean, it's just so beautiful here. Um, but yeah, it is
My
like a
meditation spot.
sanctuary. Yeah, it
My
is.
meditation spot.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I mean, look. I mean, how can you be sad in a place like that? I mean, even if it does rain a lot, but I mean, that's beautiful.
I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
is. There's so much here.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's interesting that you chose a spot like Seattle because I think you're kind of bringing in that element of sanctuary energy. I think that's related to your life in Cassiopeia because that was a sanctuary space in Cassiopeia. It was one of the various ones. I think the other one was Cygnus, um, but you're bringing in that energy of sanctuary, and I think that's who you are. You bring in this element of I am the element of love. I'm the element of acceptance. I don't care who you are. I'm going to be here for you. And I'll
Hmm.
support you. That's who you are. That's beautiful. I love doing this Akashic work because I get to meet beautiful souls like you. Yeah, I mean it's an honor to do this work, honestly. Do you have any questions for me, or is this kind of on track with kind of what you were looking for, or?
It kind of now it's a little more information as to why, because I was trying to figure out why Gaia was asking me to do something, and then I asked the gatekeeper, well, what does it mean to do this? And they said, well, you're not a gatekeeper, so I'm like, yeah, but I know what Gaia told me to do. It's like, but you just basically dismissed me, so I didn't know where to even start researching. But with the information you gave me, now it makes sense as to the vision that I had, or the
Yeah,
dream, or whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, because I was trying to figure out. I said, Polaris, really? You think I'm just okay? Etheric being, but I thought I went further than Polaris because I don't know, I was getting Source because it was the only thing that made sense to me because I don't know all the different, I can't remember all the different species or planets or
oh yeah.
who
There's
there
so
is
many.
out
There's
there.
so much out there.
But I
Um,
know I've got memory of it somewhere in my DNA because I know my brain operates differently than most people.
hmm
And like you said, if I'm a template holder or whatever, what'd you say, template holder or
you're a template
facilitator,
builder.
builder?
Yeah, you're a template
Wow.
builder. Yeah.
And I failed, and I didn't fail geometry, but I didn't do too good with it. I
Oh
could
no,
barely draw
no,
squares.
this is beyond geometry. Okay,
Yeah.
this is energetic template building. So
But
this,
I've had people try to figure out how I could be logic and spirit at the same time. I said, because I'm Sagittarius.
yeah.
I said, but you're Ophiuchus. I'm like, well, I get to be both because some people don't recognize number 13.
hmm I
But
think maybe
whatever makes
Ophiuchus
sense.
came into recognition now because we are moving into the age of Aquarius, and I think a lot of Sagittarians are taking on role of healer. So it's like just an additional because they've spent like thousands of years just being travelers and scholars, and now they have to become healers. So it's just an additional role that is being played. But I'm like you, I guess according to the new astrological chart, I'm actually a Cancer. I'm not a Leo, but I don't know. I feel like I have elements of both, so
Well,
I'm
pretty
with
much.
you. Yeah. So I'm gonna be both. So it's okay. Yeah.
Well,
Um.
they said Ophiuchus is a mindset, not necessarily a birthright. But
Yeah.
I happen to get it both ways, so I fell on the birth fate and the birth and the
Oh
mentality.
no, and I see that element in you, that kind of the healer element. I mean, I think you're here to do big healing, but I think you do it in your own way. I don't think you follow a certain healing modality or a certain, you know, yeah,
No, I got the license, but yeah, that's why it's called partly normal massage services, because I'm anything but normal, and every massage is different.
no, I
So
see that with you. You probably, so is that mainly what you do is massage, or do you do other things too?
well, I work with tuning forks and vibration right now. I'm going to try
Yeah.
and get into using light source.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, mostly right now it's just massage because it's expensive to get the rest of the items. And I've got a
Right.
few sets of tuning forks, but and they actually do work.
No, they do. No, one of my mentors was trained in utilizing tuning forks, and they had planetary energies with, she had like several different, I mean, like a whole, like, um, she had like 20 of them, and they each had different, attuned to different planetary energies or different star energies. And no, they do work. They're
I've
amazing.
got them attuned to the organs. I'm going to get one for the bones, the joints, the muscles. Then I've
Yeah.
got the ones that you don't touch the body, but they go over the field.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many of them, but they work.
Oh, they do work. No, they're powerful. The crystal bowls work really nice too. Those are beautiful. I don't know if you work with those, but
Not
um,
yet, but I will.
yeah,
I have a
no,
feeling I will.
yeah, they're you can get those on Amazon, and they're, I mean, at varying prices. So I don't think they're overly expensive, but but yeah, the crystal bowls, I can see you working with those too, because you're here to bring in big level frequency, so I think that's why you're attracted to sound healing, as well as the body work, because I think you're at that point where you're ready to bring in that additional layer of healing, and that's going to be, with the sound frequency. I think that's why so many of us are being drawn to working with music or working with sound, because that's frequency at its most pure form. Okay, it's not light, it's actually sound. Okay, so
And when you can see the sound, it's even more interesting.
oh, I know. Yeah, that's really
Watch it
cool.
move.
Yeah. Yeah, so let me see how we're doing on time. I think we have 10 minutes left. Okay, so I'm gonna. Now, you said you already had been introduced to your guides in the last reading you
Uh,
had.
yeah, she said I had, she gave me quite a few of them. I knew the first two. I call them my chuckleheads.
Oh, gotcha.
Male and a female, Native American type.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
I guess I was a chieftain at one time.
Oh, you've been a lot of
Uh,
things. Yeah, you've. I mean, I can't even. I mean, I'm trying to pinpoint like Earth lives, and I can't because you've been so many different things. I mean, you've been.
it explains why the bees don't sting me or anything.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, you're lucky. That's nice. Um, I wish the mosquitoes wouldn't bite me, but they always seem attracted to me. I don't know why, but
I know, but I guess Raphael is he's the one that's standing in front for the archangels. I mean, I can call any of them, of course, but he's the front man. He's the one that's
yeah,
there for them.
I would say you definitely have a connection more with Raphael because he is the divine healer. Okay, so
But I know I tie in with Zodkiel too. Even the numbers
Zadkiel,
line up with
yeah. Oh,
Zodkiel.
yeah. That's
Both
the
numbers line up.
Yeah, that's, I think, the archangel of transformation. Okay, so that would,
Yeah,
yeah,
Violet Flame.
yeah.
But I know Samael is another one.
Oh,
Samael
yeah,
and Lilith both. I tie in with both of them too.
yeah,
Number 13.
yeah. You do have quite a few. Well, you're a big soul, so of course you would need um like a pantheon of of guides. Um so yeah, I see Andromedan guides. I see Arcturian. I just see Cassiopeian, Vega guides, so you have quite a few. And I did see the two Native American ones. I think it's no accident you ended up where you're at, because I think you had incarnations before in your area as Native American. Okay, so I think you resonate a lot with the Northwest. And I would say, even though you've had incarnations of both Lemuria and Atlantis, I think you resonate more with Lemurian energy than you do Atlantean. Okay, so
that sounds about right.
Yeah, because I think you're more of a higher level spiritual soul, and I think that's why you're attracted more to the Pacific rather than the Atlantic side. Okay, I too I'm a Lemurian soul too. I don't even think I had incarnations in Atlantis, or if I do, I don't remember them. But
I know I do know about Egypt. I know because that's always fascinated me. So I know Egypt is somewhere in there.
oh yeah, I saw Egypt right away for you. And I'm seeing priest. I think you had various incarnations in Egypt, so I'm seeing. I don't know. I think maybe but you were always like a priest of like Ma'at. You know, she was like the goddess of truth. So she was the one that had the feather that they would use to weigh the hearts. You know, so when somebody.
Now I know why Toth comes in. Okay.
Yeah, Toth comes in too. Yep. You've had various incarnations in Egypt.
Nobody answers me.
What's that?
I call on the Ascended Masters, and nobody really comes to answer me. It's like, how come you guys ain't talking to me?
I don't know. They don't talk to me either. I think the only one that has is Kuan Yin. I've had conversations with her, but
I was told the only reason I don't see angels is because I believe.
mm,
I don't need to see them because I believe.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't really see my guides either. I feel them. I feel
Mine are
their.
on the movie theater in the back of my head.
Yeah, I feel my guides like either my. I usually feel them in the usually like I just feel them around my shoulders, or so I don't know if you get that feeling too, um but I don't really see them. I mean, and if I do, it's usually in a dream. It's not like, when I'm, doing my day-to-day thing in third dimension. But yeah, I don't know, your guys, they're saying you're doing really well. I don't think you really need anything. I think you're just having this experience right now, and you're just kind of doing your thing.
Right now.
Yeah. What's that?
I'm kind of just coasting. I'm coasting a little bit right now.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, I think it's okay. I don't think you're just here being, you. I don't think you really need to do anything. I think you've done things before, but I don't think you really need to. I think you're just here holding space and bringing in this higher level frequency. And I don't think you need to, to go beyond that at this point. Okay. Except just being true to who you are, and I think you're already doing that. Right. So I'm going to check in on future probabilities. Let's see. I'm going to check in on that. I'm getting that. I think from here, the next big project after planet Earth is going to be the rebuilding of Lyra Vega. Okay. And I think you might get called to work that project. Okay. So maybe that's part of the shifting of Earth access back to Vega, or towards Vega. But so maybe that's going to be, you're going to do what you did on Polaris on Vega. So, but I almost see you maybe spending one more lifetime here on fifth dimensional Earth, just to kind of help Earth integrate herself into fifth dimension. So you're gonna, I think, hang around for one more lifetime, but then you're gonna head back into, a much bigger project beyond Earth. So eventually you're going to return to Orion Nebula. You're going to return to where you came from, which was Source. Okay, and all of us are basically going to do that. Yeah, all of us. But I do see a couple more stops along the way before you do that. But yeah, I do see definitely Lyra Vega. I think that's going to be your next big project, and then There's another project that's kind of happening with Andromeda Galaxy. Eventually, Andromeda Galaxy and Milky Way are going to converge. Okay, that's actually, yeah, that's another scientific, real science thing. So it's not going to happen for a while yet, but I think you're going to help maintain stability as this convergence comes, together. So, and there's going to be quite a few of you big souls doing this. It won't be just you, um, but that's the other big project is the convergence or the integration of Andromeda Galaxy with Milky Way. It's interesting because the Milky Way was birthed from Andromeda Galaxy and then it's kind of merging back into it. So that's really kind of interesting. I wonder what the greater significance of that is. But
often the student or the successor becomes greater than the predecessor, and they provide that as a reward in a sense. I send out. Like I send my children out in the world, and I reap the rewards that they bring back to me, type of thing. So
right,
I'm gonna build them bigger for letting us go out and do our thing. They get built bigger for it.
Yeah, because I think Andromeda Galaxy. When I look at Andromeda Galaxy, it doesn't have any of the evolution of physicality like we have in this galaxy. So, so I think this galaxy has accomplished more because we have gone from etheric beings into more physical beings, and we've gone through all these massive experiences that they didn't have in Andromeda Galaxy. So I think you're absolutely right. That's a very excellent point you just made, and I think it was part of this experiment of, oh, let's see how these beings do with physicality, but then we're going to be returning back to the etheric, so yeah, that's a very, very wonderful point that you made. Is there any other questions you have before we close today, or
do I have a partner? Do I have a partner that I'm supposed to meet like sometime in this incarnation, or did I already incarnate as my partner?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me check. I have to check with your guides. Let me check with your guides.
I had a possible twin flame, but it's kind of weird on that one.
Twin flames are tricky in third dimension. Very tricky. It's like, and then if you do incarnate like on the same timeline, the same level, it's always really complicated. It's never like easy.
Well,
yeah.
And because I can't violate their sacred three, they still believe we're twins, and if they believe it, I can't tell them no, we're not, because I can't break it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was trying to check. Will I, do I have a partner, or am I my partner?
I think you're such a massive soul. You're your own twin flame. I know it sounds weird, but I think that's why you exhibit yourself as both male and female, because you are your own twin. I mean, you're like a massive soul in one, So, and I don't oftentimes run across people like you, but every once in a while I do, and I think it's just. But are you going to have a physical partner? Yes, I think you will. Yes, I think. Okay. Yes. And I'm not sure if it's going to be male or female, um, but I do see you getting a physical partner, because none of us want to be in this reality and do this work on our own. It's just, it gets lonely after a while. Even massive souls get lonely, So I have a partner, and I know you're going to find somebody too. And I think in third dimensional reality, I just did a reading this morning for a couple that was wondering if there were twin flames, and I was trying to explain to them that you don't necessarily have to have a twin flame relationship to have a successful relationship, because in reality, because we're massive souls, we can have soul connections with a number of different souls and have very successful romantic relationships with them. But and it just depends on who's available, or who we have a contract with, or or who's available at the time, or Because my significant other is not my twin flame, but he is, an important soul partner. So, and I think that's why we've been together for so long. Um, but I see you having somebody. I think it's going to be somebody kind of similar to you, a parallel soul that you're just going to be, and I think you're going to be part of the same core soul group, and you're just going to recognize each other. But I'm having a hard time determining if they're going to be male or female. I think they might be, I don't know. What's that? I think it depends on who.
That's the big deal right there. I just wondered if.
I think it just depends on what you're attracted. I think you can be attracted to anybody. You're that kind of a soul. I mean, it doesn't matter, if they're male or female or whatever. But no, I just see somebody that's a parallel soul like you. That's part of that core soul family that you originated from. So there'll be a sense of So I see like a deep soul partner. Like somebody that's part of your soul family. So yeah, I do see a partner coming into your life. And I'm trying to see if there's a timeline. Let me see if the guides show me. They say it might be like within the next 3 years. Okay, so you might have to be alone for a while, but they say it's going to be. Hopefully, it's sooner than 3 years, but they're telling me 3 years. So we'll see what happens. I think as people get used to the idea of transgenderism and there's going to be more acceptance, I think you'll find opportunities for partnership out there. So but they are telling me.
I just wasn't sure on that one because I've been married 3 times.
Yeah, no, I think you'll find somebody else. Yeah. You're a beautiful soul and you're the embodiment of love. I mean, you can't help but attract love, right? So yeah, so I do see that for you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate this. Namaste.
Namaste.